Hello YouTube, it's Rob, Maxwell's Grass Cutting Services, based in the northeast of England. Hope everybody's well. It's an absolutely beautiful day in the northeast of England today. It's 23 degrees and I'm sweating like a paratrooper taking a spelling test, but that's another story. If you're new to my channel, I run a gardening business, grass cutting business, lawn care business in the northeast of England, and this is about my journey and what I do, the equipment I use, and share tips, experiences, and at the moment it's about what I do to run a business, but I would like to digress and sort of move across as well into gardening tips. As a young man, 14 years of age, I worked in a garden centre stroke nursery, and it's sort of created a passion I've had for my whole life about gardening. I had an allotment when I was a young man, and it wasn't fashionable and people thought it was a bit weird, but I've always loved gardening, and it's been a hobby of mine since I was probably 13 years of age, and now I'm 52 and I earn a living from it, so I'm over the moon with it. But today's video, so if you want to, please subscribe and press the like button if you like what you hear. It helps me grow the channel and support what I'm doing. I've had loads of messages which I'm overwhelmed by, people asking questions, giving advice, sharing tips, and one question that I've been asked quite a lot over the last week is I want to start a gardening business, but I'm a bit nervous about A, B or C. And it's usually not about how to do the job, it's about the administration behind running your own business. And one question is, how do you invoice clients to ensure you get paid? And it's a good question, and for people who run their own business, they probably say, well, that's simple. But for somebody who's never done it before, never ran their own business, it must be quite daunting. So what I do is, when I quote for work, I set the standards there with the customer, and I've done a business on how I've done a video before on how I quote for work, and I'll put it in the link, so if you want to have a look at that, by all means. But what I do is I tell them that I'll send them a message after the job, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Cannybody. 95% of my customers are Mr. and Mrs. Cannybody with, say, average 3-bedroom semi-detached property with say 200 square meters of lawn, and they've got to an age where they don't want to cut the lawn themselves, or they might be a young couple and they haven't got time, and so they pay me to do it. And let's say for argument's sake, I charge £25 to come in every fortnight and mow their lawn, edge it, leaf blow it for a tidy finish so it looks really nice and they don't have to think about it. And I do that 18 times a year, every fortnight between mid-March and the end of October, beginning of November, and it's £25 a cut. At the end of each visit, I pull away from the street, park up somewhere, and I send them a message straight away, and that can be either on WhatsApp or text message. I find every one of my customers has got a mobile phone, even some of the elder customers, they all have mobiles, and I send them a message, and that message is as simple as, all done for today, please transfer £25 into my account, thank you very much for the work, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, weather permitting. And I try and keep my schedule to the same days every fortnight if I can. Sometimes you can't because of bank holidays, sometimes you can't because of inclement weather, and you need to sort of move it around. But I always send messages the day before I cut, and I always keep people informed if there's going to be a delay. And that's the way I invoice 90% of my customers, and then the money gets transferred into my account, and that's it. It's as simple as that. I do have commercial customers who need something a little bit more, and I have a book, and it's an invoice book, and here it is, and it's each invoice is carbon copied, so I write the job on there, what they owe, and then give them a copy of the top copy. I keep the bottom copy for my records, and then I hand that to them when I'm finished. Also, once I've done the same again, I send them a text message, thank you very much for the work today, the bill is blah blah blah, please transfer X amount of pounds into my account, thank you very much, see you in 2 weeks, kind regards, Rob, Maxwell's Grass Cutting Services. So I'm giving them a paper copy, and they're getting a message as well, just a reminder that payment is required after the job, either by cash or within 24 hours if it's bank transfer. And that's all set out in the quote. And have a look at my quotes video and it'll explain that. Now, some people, when you do a one-off job, they won't tell you that they want an invoice, and you can do the job and then you can finish the job, you pull away, you send a message and say, that's great, Rob, but can you send me an invoice, please? So you don't want to be going back with a paper copy. So I have an iPhone at home, and on the software called Pages, you just go on there and they've got copies of invoices, and all you do is you just put in your address, put in your business, put in your telephone number, etc., and then save it, and that's your hard copy of it. And then you can just fill it in, press save, and then send it attached to an email. And it's as simple as that. Now, how do you keep records on what work you've done? Well, this is what I do. I bought this off Amazon, and it's called a ledger book, and it was about £4. And that's one of the pages what isn't filled in. And all I do is I just put at the top, let's just say May, and it's got job 1, lawn cut, who it was, the date, how much it was, they've paid how much, and then I tick it to say they've paid. And then I list all my jobs for May, and then I add them up at the end, and that is my sort of gross profit, sorry, gross turnover, what I've got for that month. And then on the next page I put all my off takes in, your fuel, etc., etc., and then you've got what you've took in, what you've spent, and then you've got a net profit for the month. And I do that every month all the way through the season, and at the end of the year I add it all up, and then I know exactly what my turnover was, what my gross profit is, and then net, that's taking away all your off takes. But that's another story, that's a little bit longer. So that's the way I invoice. Now, I appreciate there'll be people watching this video who have got huge companies with staff and it just won't work. But if you're starting out in the gardening business, in any business, for me it's about keeping it simple, right? And you're in charge, so you decide how you're going to do it. I've decided how I'm going to do it, and it's a message because it's quick, it's efficient, and it costs nothing. Now, if they want a paper invoice, they can have one. However, if I turned up to Mrs. Cannybody and it was a 20 quid loan every fortnight, she wanted a paper invoice, I would politely ask, may I ask why you want a paper invoice? Because I want one. Well, that would set alarm bells ringing for me that they were a bit awkward, and I'd probably walk away from it. Because that costs money, them paper invoices to print. Not a lot, but it costs money, and it's time, and it's a faff. And how many people do it? You know, I've got a window cleaner who comes, Wayne, he's a lovely fella, comes once a month. He texts me the day before, leave the gate open, Rob, I'm coming, so you unlock the gate. He comes round, he cleans the window with a long pole system, and then after it he sends me a message, all done, Rob, cheers. And I say, right, thanks Wayne, 15 quid transfer, all the best, see you next time. And it's fast and it's efficient, and I'm sure that a lot of people who run gardening businesses do it this way. If you don't, leave a comment, tell me what you do. I know there's software, I know there's lots of stuff you can do, but for me, I know how many customers I have, and 90% of them, 95% are fortnightly customers or weekly customers. So my sort of fortnight is, you know, the first fortnight of the season, and then it just keeps repeating itself as the season goes on. So I know where I am, and I keep it simple, and I just find it works for me. I find that if I was to use some sort of software or put it all on the computer, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. I like pen and paper, I like to write things down, I like to keep records for my own records, as in what I've done and what I've taken that month. But for invoices, I like to keep it simple. WhatsApp, text message, paper invoice for my commercial clients. If I've got one-off jobs and they want a digital invoice, I use Pages from Apple, and I send it via an email, attach it to an email. But the most important thing is when you first meet your client, you build your relationship, you tell them how you want to be paid, not how they want to pay you, because you're in charge. They want you to turn up every fortnight, do a good job, but you want something in return, and that's to be paid efficiently and how you want to be paid. And most of my clients, pay by bank transfer, because it's so easy in this day and age, and they do it very efficiently, and it works for me. So that's that, invoicing. So I hope it's helped. If it has, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to do regular videos on how I run my gardening business, and I hope it helps. And thanks for all the comments, thanks for all the support. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Take care.